All right, yes, thank you very much for staying with us once again. Africa, welcome back to this channel, Sport 7GH. Yes, West African Derby in the finals of the African Cup of Nations 2023 involving Nigeria, the Super Eagles, and Ivory Coast or Côte d'Ivoire, the Elephants of La Côte d'Ivoire. We are going to bring you the pre-game analysis. How do we think the game is going to go? How do we think the key battles that is going to happen on the field of play? The African Cup of Nations started on the 13th of January and it is ending on the 11th of February 2023. What an Afcon it's been. For me, it's about the best African Cup of Nations in terms of everything. Supporters supporting or fans supporting their teams, the game on the field, the Afcon games producing goals, fantastic refereeing on the African continent. Afcon, yeah, one of the key issues in the past was always going to be referees, but this Afcon referees have been excellent and they've used their VR very efficiently and to perfection. So everything about the Afcon, organization, the games, the ties, the players, whoa, what an African Cup of Nations it's been. But all of that is happening, or it's ending today and tomorrow. Today the third place teams will play. Today South Africa and DR Congo, and tomorrow the finals will happen. We are going to delve into the finals, the key battles and everything, the possible starting 11 of both sides, what we think will be the final score of the game. We're also going to bring our predictions of the final in this particular video. You can also leave your predictions in the comment section of this video. Also, yes, West African neighbors, Ghana neighbors, Cote d'Ivoire, and also Ghanaian brothers, Nigeria. For me, I've already told you I'm in Nigeria. Yes, I'm supporting Nigeria. So this one, it's not like I'll be biased in the analysis, but of course, I'm supporting Nigeria to win their 4th African Cup of Nations, even though I'm from Ghana. Yeah. Subscribe to the channel, like this video, hit the notification bell and select, or leave your thoughts and comments below in the comment section. Thank you very much for staying with us. Now, the African Cup of Nations final, of course, is between Ivory Coast and then Nigeria, and there are a lot of history and key battles or some certain things we can talk about. All right, so let's look at some of the history and then the stats about this game. Now, Ivory Coast are the first host nation to reach the African Cup of Nations final since Egypt in 2006, who won the trophy that year on penalties against Ivory Coast themselves after a 0-0 draw. 5 of the last 6 host nations to reach the finals have won the tournament, the exception being Nigeria in 2000, where they drew 2-2 with Cameroon and lost 4-3 on penalties. So Nigeria can be the same nation to ensure that Ivory Coast will not win, because Ivory Coast, per this history, they are very much likely to win as the host nation, because 5 of the last host nations to reach the finals of the Afcon have won the trophy. So Nigeria ensure that Ivory Coast will not repeat this particular one. Now, Nigeria are playing in their 8th Afcon final. Only Egypt and Ghana, both having played 9, have played more such games in their competition, excluding final groups. The Super Eagles have been victorious in 2 of their last 3 finals. That is in 1994 and 2013. They lost on penalties in 2000, having lost their 3 beforehand. 1984 they lost in the final. 1988 and 1990 also they lost. Now, all 4 of Ivory Coast's previous African Cup of Nations finals have ended goalless. They've gone to penalties. They've won 2 of those shootouts. 1992 versus Ghana, it was a very long penalty. Yes, very long penalty. But Ivory Coast won. And in 2015 too, they won on penalties versus Ghana. And they lost 2. That is in 2006 versus Egypt. And then 2012, they lost to Zambia also. So Nigeria wouldn't want this one to go to final. That's the first thing I'm taking out from this. Now, if you look at the form of Nigeria in the Afcon and the form of Ivory Coast in the Afcon, there is no way you will ever think, even on paper, that Ivory Coast will win this trophy. But one key arsenal, one key weapon Ivory Coast are sending to this particular Afcon final is their supporters. And their supporters have been the difference for them since the round of 16 up to now. Even though their coach, Ebimpe Stadium, has been a revelation in this Afcon, and he's shown that indeed he was better than their substantive coach, who they sacked after the group stages. So the coach is a revelation and is one of their weapons coming into this final. But I think their fans have been their main weapon after the round of 16. That is because after the group stages, they were just on their players. Like, look, you cannot keep playing this and you cannot be very abysmal. Look, Nigeria have considered just one goal from open play. One goal from open play versus Equatorial Guinea in the tournament. And then they've considered twice, one of them from penalties versus South Africa. Okay, so that is the amount of goals they've considered. But if you go to Ivory Coast, they've considered a lot in the tournament. A lot. In fact, they consider 4 versus Equatorial Guinea, consider 1 versus Nigeria. And don't forget that these two sides were in the same group, Group A. And they played versus each other and Nigeria won 1-0. Okay, but after the round of 16, Ivory Coast have been a big and huge revelation. In fact, after the group stages, and now they won versus Senegal in the round of 16. They qualified to the next round versus Mali, and then they won 2-1. Even when they played chunk of the game as 10 men, they played as 10-man team. Now they went to the semi-finals, played versus Congo DR, and then also they won that particular game 1-0 through Sebastian Haller. Now, some of the key players who have turned the table around for Ivory Coast since the round of 16 is one, Sebastian Haller, fantastic player. He didn't play the group stages, came in from the round of 16, and he's been very influential. We all know him from Ajax to West Ham and then Dortmund. He's a quality forward. Okay, Sebastian Haller, Simeon Adingra, Max Gradel. Okay, all of these players have been very, very instrumental in changing the story for Ivory Coast. And it is clear, if you go to Nigeria, I'm sure a lot of us, we know Nigeria that, look, they changed their formation after the first game to the 3-4-3 formation, and they've been brilliant. They mostly create from the wings, and they don't really create from the middle because they just have Alex Iwobi and Frank Onyeka, and they just cannot create anything from the middle. But then they are very resolute in terms of if anybody wants to create something through their middle and score them, you cannot do that because Frank Onyeka is very solid and resolute, same as Alex Iwobi when defending. And then also when they are on their flanks, they are able to defend very well because of they have a lot of numbers in terms of the 3-back formation they are playing. So basically, those are the two teams overall. Now, going into this game, one of the key battles I am expecting in this game is Simeon Adingra. Simeon Adingra, okay, versus the likes of Alex Ola Oina and Sam Ayeyi, okay, on that particular side also. You see, so that's left hand side of Ivory Coast defense or attack, and then also the right hand side of Nigeria's defense. Yes, is where it's going to be a key bar because Simeon Adingra will be one of the effective wingers in this particular. He's been since the round of 60, like I've been saying, and he's a very young quality player who can run, pacey, and can dribble, and he can do everything. All right. If you go to the other side too, that is where Max Gradel is, the right side of the Ivory Coast attack or defense. That is where they have Max Gradel, also a very experienced player who can cause havoc to the Ivorian defense. But Sebastian Haller will be occupying the main number 9 position, and I'm sure he will be having a one-on-one, a 1-versus-1 versus William Trost Ekong. The coach of Nigeria will tell Trost Ekong that, look, just make sure that you tackle this particular player for us. With Nicholas, you tackle Sebastian Haller for us. Make sure when it is air ball, whether it is ground duels, everything, William Trost Ekong will ensure that Sebastian Haller will be taken out of the game. That is one of the key battles I'm expecting. Whoever wins that key battle is very much likely to win the game. And I'm telling you, it is clear. Whoever wins that key battle between Sebastian Haller and William Trost Ekong is because Ivory Coast if they are going to score, one of their main channels is going to be Sebastian Haller. Simeon Adingra and Max Radel will be bringing in the crosses for their main target, Sebastian Haller, whether it is ground cross or whether it is in the air cross. Okay, so that battle, William Trost Ekong should be very, very solid at the back. Now, if you go to the forward of Nigeria, we all know the effect of Victor Osimhen. He's not getting the goals, but in terms of occupying opponents' defense and players and all of that, he is doing that very, very well to perfection. And obviously, he's going to do that again. And Ademola Lookman will try to find the spaces behind Victor Osimhen in terms of when the defenders of Ivory Coast are so occupied with Victor Osimhen. So Ademola Lookman, that's what he's been doing and doing it to perfection and scoring goals with it. So Nigeria are still going to do. But again, if Ivory Coast go into this final with a 5-back formation to ensure that they stop the wing play of Nigeria, this is going to be a very interesting game, just like South Africans they look. And South Africa showed the key how to play Nigeria with this current formation they have. Just double up numbers in terms of a 5-back formation, double up numbers on their wings so that they will not be ineffective to create chances. And if you do that, take your chances. And you see, South Africa were using long balls to the likes of Percy Tau and the rest, and Evidence Makopa, and they couldn't be effective. But if Ivory Coast is doing that with Sebastian Haller, I can tell you that at least he will be about 70 to 80% effective. So Nigeria are going to face a very difficult team. The fans of Ivory Coast are going to be hugely behind them. But then, it is not because I support Nigeria. I've played the game in my mind so many times. I still see Nigeria winning. And I don't see this game going to the penalties. Not at all. I really don't see penalties. What I see is that Nigeria will score 1 goal. They will win the game 1-0. And then they will win within regulated time. But this is the catch. They are going to defend very well. William Trost Ekong is going to take out Sebastian Haller. He can't play anything. Nigeria will win the game 1-0 and will win the African Cup of Nations trophy. But in case that do not happen and the game travels to penalties, Nigeria is going to be very difficult for them. I'm telling you, it's going to be very, very difficult because Cote d'Ivoire, Ivory Coast have proper penalty takers, same as Nigeria. But this is my prediction, 1-0 for Nigeria. Let me know your thoughts, comments, views, opinions in the comment section. Like this video, hit the notification bell. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.